welcome to the show. This is the Handmade Podcast, and we're going to be talking about it's a Handmade Podcast because you will not see any AI here. You won't see any, I don't do any of that sort of stuff because I hate the tech bros. And I've seen this AI stuff shoved down our throats for ages. I mean, I never asked for it. I don't know if you guys asked for it, but now, I turn up Google and it's all this AI stuff. So, yeah, I could see, over the past few years, it's been this insidious creep of AI. So, yeah, it turns out that the tech AI bubble, which it is, it's a bubble of nothing. Like I can't see any uses for AI in a commercial sense. You just see all these sort of I suppose it's used in apps, but yeah, I see the Chat GPT and what's the Twitter one, Grok, whatever. But everyone's got their own Gemini. Everyone's got their own AI sort of thing going on, and it's something that they just pushed onto us. It's all speculative hype and bullshit. And yeah, but we've all told to love it. So yeah, in making these videos, I don't use any AI because it's all made up garbage. And it's not that good. And it turns out all my suspicions were correct. So it's a case of the Emperor's New Clothes with the tech bros. Turns out a couple of days ago, Deepseek AI, a Chinese company, just dropped their AI, and it's shown all the American Burger Reich that they're fake and full of shit, quite frankly. Totally full of shit. And it's all been a lie. Surprise, shock, oh my goodness, wow, So, yeah, we're going to look at this Deepseek seek thing and see what it means in the larger context and international sort of relations and the economic warfare, because that's kind of what it was. It was all that AI stuff was going to be made. You had to pay for it. It was that thing called Open AI, and it wasn't even open. Whereas this DeepSeek thing is on Open AI. See the sneaky shit they do? They change it. They say Open AI, but it was. Sorry, I meant open source material. So yeah, so the DeepSeek one was open source material, and the American one, the Peter Thiel and all that crew, all the tech bro, billionaire bro, crypto idiots, their AI was called Open AI, but you had to pay a fee. So yeah, it's all just nothing. And so it's turned out that all the restrictions that the American system, which, they bought the American government, so it's the oligarchy now, and their golden calf that they're all trying to force us to worship is garbage, as we all knew. And they tried to restrict China, and that only made China innovate. I mean, what are you talking about? It's China. They invented paper. Back in medieval times, um, people were writing on vellum, calf skin. So, yeah, it's not. Paper came much later to the West, and it was from China. Same with gunpowder, pasta, despite what the Italians want to tell you. It all came from China. So they've been innovating for thousands of years. So, you know, but I think the racism of the Burger Reich has gone, they don't know anything. We can do better. Yeah, and coupled with American exceptionalism has led them to this point. And their speculative bullshit, constantly lying. They don't produce anything. They just, pay people who do make stuff and are smart and can do things. And then they make all these business deals. So the technology goes in this direction of NVIDIA. So it's just crazy. Anyway, we're going to have a look at, I believe these are two commentators. There we go.
A Chinese company called Deepseek. The market capitalization of NVIDIA fell by $600 billion in one day. $600 billion in one day. And it went from being the largest company in the world to being the second largest company in the world because Apple, yes, sorry,
I
go ahead.
here. This is like a little indicator of the different industries that are publicly traded. As you see, what I mean, the general term for, in some way, kind of these AI companies would kind of fit within these two boxes over here, which is like software infrastructure and semiconductors. Semiconductors are more or less the hardware related companies that are invested in building the infrastructure for what we should call like AI to work. Nvidia, which started off as a GPU company, right? They would basically build graphic cards, which is the most efficient way of maybe processing information or so. This is a company that was valued at maybe $4 trillion, and lost nearly 20% at its highest point, or at its lowest point on the trading day yesterday. That represented around $600 billion lost in one day.
Isn't that crazy? That amount of money in one day. That is just insane. I mean, that's kind of that's more than that's a large country's sort of gross domestic product, you know? What the hell? That's just crazy.
And then we look at TSM, which is Taiwan Semiconductors. That's the kind of the manufacturing hub for these chips. They have contracts with NVIDIA. That lost 14%. And when we look at
So all this hype about NVIDIA, these guys did it with limited amount of chips apparently, and for a fraction of the cost.
Microsoft, the company that more or less has some agreement some level of ownership in OpenAI, lost 3%. And you've mentioned something about DeepSeek being able to process or to to release its AI model requiring a lot less energy. Even the energy companies traded on the stock market lost significant market cap or value on the stock market yesterday. Vistra, which is a company that
And that's fascinating. So the energy companies, because if it's all a house of cards. So they were going to put back nuclear and coal and bring back all the old hits of the fossil fuel industry. And so they've taken a hit.
provides energy to data centers, and these large AI companies lost 30% yesterday on the stock market. So
Right.
DeepSeek,
AI is just for people who don't know, is very energy intensive, consumes
yes,
huge amounts of electricity.
well, not for, apparently not for DeepSeek, because it was able
Exactly.
to.
Yeah, Deepseek blew that conventional thinking out of the fucking water. So all these tech bro AI, EFT, NFT, crypto coin, meme coin, shit coin, Hock Tour coin idiots were all wrong. And, they used to sort of smugly tell normies like me, look, you just don't understand the technology. You just don't get it, bro. Bro, you just don't understand the tech. It's too complicated to explain. It just works, all right? It's just a revolutionary and it's the way of the future. It's what they always would say. It's constantly, that was their mantra. And it was all bullshit. And note how they try to cut out China, and China just fucking outmaneuver them, outflank them, and drop that shit. DeepSeek did this deliberately, so it doesn't have to. These idiots don't get the monopoly. The oligarchy are a bunch of fucking fools, just smarmy, rich idiots, narcissists, fascists. So this is great news.
It was able to using NVIDIA chips from the year 2020, right? 5-year-old chips, because the United States has restrictions on the on the on the on the technologies that certain countries can use, right? So
Right.
the
And
United
so
States,
it's more they banned the more advanced NVIDIA chips from being sold to China, right?
exactly. So there's this map over here about how China wants to, the United States wants to hoard the technological lead over the rest of the world. So when you look at this map over here, let me see if I could zoom in from my own screen. So this is the United States and Canada. And then like very limited Western countries here. You see like Finland, Norway, Sweden, France, Spain, Germany, Italy, UK. These are the countries that have unrestricted imports, so they could buy any NVIDIA chip or any chip. Really, there's no.
Look, Australia's in the green zone. Australia, as a vassal state, can buy as much NVIDIA as it wants, I suppose. Good to know.
Restrictions on them. But when you look at this map over here, you also notice that somewhat friendly countries to the west are also restricted from buying these American products, right? These American advanced AI chips, right? So you look at Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary.
Why is that, Rami?
Because the United States truly wants to keep its edge. Maybe there's some fear of these chips being funneled over to Russia and China, right? Because they're I mean, maybe they cannot be trusted. But at the end of the day, America has put sanctions on some of their own allies and their enemies, of course. I mean, in this case, Russia and China.
And it all came to naught, didn't it? All came to naught. Because, yeah, China just innovated then.
Do not get access to the most developed US technology. But the problem is that, and this we've known this forever, is that sanctions essentially don't work, and especially not for developed industrialized countries such as Russia and China, because these sanctions are in some way pushing China to develop homegrown solutions. So because they were not allowed to use NVIDIA chips or the most advanced NVIDIA chips, Huawei is now producing their own equivalent to compete with NVIDIA. So in some way, the United States is inviting Chinese competition. And what we've learned with Deepseek's release, which I'll show a bit how it compares to the other American solutions.
What's the old saying? Necessity is the mother of invention.
It's miles ahead of American technologies, despite the restrictions. So America is actually shooting itself in the foot by sanctioning China and Russia on the well, especially China at least, on the AI race. So I just wanted to share with you this image over here, just to maybe like kind of emphasize a bit what is the how what's it called again? Sorry, just can't really multitask. How Deepseek kind of compares in the AI world. There's kind of three models. Oh, there used to be like two, but there's three models that are the most competitive. There's Cloud over here, which is owned by Anthropic, and GPT, that is managed by OpenAI, which has ties to Microsoft. Then we have Llama, that is owned by Meta. And the bold letters that you see here is pretty much the one that's ranked the highest on some score that is, I believe, off of 100. So when you look at generating content in English, and these are benchmarks that are a bit difficult for me. I'm not the biggest specialist in these specific benchmarks over here. But what you could definitely see is that DeepSeek is outperforming Cloud and GPT 4.0 on pretty much all of these different benchmarks. And when we look at code, which is the ability to generate code that could be that could be implemented and processed by computers, the DeepSeek model is outperforming its competitors. Now, keep in mind that DeepSeek has a team of less than 200 people, an investment of $10 million, and has only been around for 2 years. In comparison, OpenAI has been around for 10 years with 4,500 employees and has raised $6 billion and has access to the newest chips, has access to all the contracts it wants. It has Microsoft's backing. And in 2 years,
that is insane. Isn't that crazy? In just 2 years, with a minuscule of the resources, a thimble of the resources that the Broligarchy had. They look fucking stupid. Make no mistake. They look ridiculous right now. All those Broligarchy idiots and Trump and Elon Musk and the whole Burger Reich. All their speeches, all their spectacle and theatre and fanfare was nothing. It was all bullshit. And their OpenAI golden calf that they were all demanding that we worship is just that, a false god. So, yeah, I'm going to leave it there, guys. So, yeah, thanks. If you made it this far in the video, please like and consider subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.